What up? This is the Golden Era. We are finally done the regular season. This is our last league update of the year. We are diving into a real quick one, standings, award winners, play-in preview, if you will, and then we'll be back after the play-in with the full-on playoff preview storylines and what's to come in the postseason. So, without further ado, our last standings update of the regular season. Eastern Conference, Brooklyn Nets finished with the top seed. Orlando 2, Milwaukee, Chicago, Miami, all ending up with more than 50 wins. In the Eastern Conference, on the opposite side, the top 4 teams all eclipsed the 50-game mark. Los Angeles rounding that out. We saw, of course, at the end of the regular season, all the games that mattered, that closed it out, and where we end up. So those are our standings. The play-in in the East, Pacers, Celtics, Cavs, Wizards in Game 1. Loser of Pacers, Celtics gets winner of Cavs, Wizards, and then Timberwolves, Sonics, Blazers, Spurs are the 7 through 10 in the Western Conference. Our league leaders, before we get to a very exciting awards ceremony, our league leader, scoring leader, Jalen Justice, 35.2 points per game. He actually scores 0.2 more points per game than he had minutes. He had 35 minutes per game. He's your league leader in scoring. Rashawn Matthews, the rebounding leader, as he had been all season. Kareem Robinson ending up as our assist leader, the only player above 10 assists per game in the NBA season. The steal leader, it's not going to be Savion White. He does not get enough games played for it to matter. He is expected back for the play-in. But it's Jaden Springer, Andrew Watkins, Tyrese Alston ending up each with 1.8 to be our steals leader. And then blocks, Cameron Sullivan holds off. Couple field goal percentage leaders that we just didn't talk about all regular season. Cameron Sullivan is going to lead the league in field goal percentage, 61.7. Some impressive guards in that mix. DJ Stewart, John Morant, Cade Cunningham, Donnell Everett, Darius Dixon, all shooting 54% and above in the top 10. A really impressive list. Three-point shooters, our top 3. Jonathan Kuminga, 47.1%. Louis Morgan, Jalen Green round out the top 3. All right, awards. I said this during our 30-minute broadcast, which if you watched it, appreciate it, that I didn't think that Jalen Justice could win MVP, although I thought he deserved it. And he closed off the regular season with perhaps the best 3-game stretch, 3 50-plus point performances. That gets him up over 35.2 points per game. It also gets him his second MVP award. He finishes with 35.7 boards, 7 assists, incredible 535 made three-pointers, 54, 45, 90. It's why I've said he's the best player in basketball. I know I didn't put him number 1 on the top 50, but he's still the number 1 player in basketball. Defensive Player of the Year is Cameron Sullivan. Not too big of a shock there, anchoring a great Miami Heat defense, 2.7 blocks, 14.5 rebounds. Most improved, this is a historic one. Jair Dooling is going to become, I'm not even doing research, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the first player that I've seen, maybe the first player in NBA history, to ever win multiple most improved player awards. He makes a huge leap, 25 points per game in his first season in Cleveland, 4 boards, 3.5 assists. He won it a couple seasons ago. I think it was his 3rd year in the NBA with the Sacramento Kings. He made a leap to a fringe all-star caliber player. He shoots 40.5% from deep. Rookie of the Year is Yanni Giddens. He averages 20.6 boards. Like every every rookie, rather, his shooting numbers weren't great, but he did shoot 37.9% from deep. And then our 6th man, Orlando's Corey Flynn, 19.6 points, 4.2 assists per game. Are all NBA squads. Again, so the NBA does this where it's 2 guards, 2 forwards, and then a flex, right? So it can't be all guards, it can't be all centers, it can't be all wings, but that 5th spot can be anything in there, right? It's pretty, in my opinion, I think that's very indicative of what the league looks like, right? You can play a 3-guard lineup. You look at the Bulls right now. Chicago has Dakota Motley at the 3, Javon Stokes at the 2, Rowan Jameson at the 1. That's 3 guards. Dakota Motley is pretty much a 2, but he's maybe a modern-day 3, 6'6", 200 pounds. Most times you'd say let's slot him at the 2, but in a quicker NBA, he comes in as the number 3. So that sets the stage for first team All-NBA, which is Jalen Justice, Javon Stokes, Jacoby Cleaves, and Deontay Dixon, joined by Amari Swift. No real surprise there. Justice gets in despite a struggling season, but 47 wins for the Raptors. All of that makes sense. The one guy that gets bumped here is Darius Dixon off of last year's team, but no surprises. Those forwards, Cleve, Swift, and Dixon, are exactly who you'd expect. All-NBA second team: Darius Dixon, Kareem Robinson, Javon Roll, Jonathan Kuminga, and Rashawn Matthews. Kuminga had been a first-team All-NBA guy for, I think, 6 years in a row. This is his second straight second-team nod. The forward class in the NBA is really great at the top with those first three guys we talked about. Kind of levels off there at the second spot. Kareem Robinson, a huge season, getting the Lakers to 50 wins, well-deserved for him on second team. And then All-NBA third team: Trey Hunter, Tyrese Alston, Brighton Reed, Dakota Motley, and Xavier Carter. I thought Tyrese Alston probably deserved MVP votes. He was my pick for MVP, which we talked about, which was spoken about by The Ringer over on Operation Sports. But he had a great season, ultimately ends up as third-team All-NBA. That's our awards here in the 2033-34 NBA season. Coming up next, we're talking playoff preview. It'll be post-play-in, so we'll know who Golden State and Sacramento are playing as the 1 and 2 seeds in the West. We'll know who the Magic as the 2 and the Nets as the 1 will be playing in the 7-8 matchups as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll be jumping in playoff preview and then the home stretch of the NBA season, the playoffs. We'll talk to you then.